Hi, I'm Hannah.
And I'm Matt Hannah.
And this is Horror Hour with the Hannahs.
Where the only place to hide is with the pause button.
And today, you're really going to want to hide because we're talking about 12 whole horror movies, 12 times the scares. And not only is it just Matt and I, but we're also joined by special guest, Heather Stewart. Hi, Heather.
Hello.
Back again. Heather likes the episodes where we talk about multiple movies because her first appearance.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Seriously. I only watch new movies for you lot. Everywhere else where I go and guest, it's usually things that I've seen a million times. I'm like, oh, this is easy prep. But for you, it's always stuff I have not seen.
We appreciate that.
And I'm discovering new movies and I love it. So I need to expand my filmography here. So,
well, if for the guests out there, Heather was on our Suspiria versus Suspiria episode, which is one of my personal favorites. So go give that a listen.
Matt loved the politics chat.
I really,
Heather gave us a lot
of. It was
and
cool.
Do you remember? Have you been practicing the word that I taught you?
Nope.
Good.
Nope. Okay. I haven't.
You're going to teach us a new word today.
I'm struggling. I don't know. We haven't got any weird German politics going on here. So.
Cuckoo has a lot of German, so you know what? That's the time, probably.
That is true. That is true. I do have comments on the German aspects of that.
But Heather, tell everyone where they can find you, what you're working on, all that good stuff.
Yeah. So my socials are Heather J. Stewart, generally everywhere. Can find a lot of my content on the Revisionist Almanac channel. We're on a little break at the moment. Andrew's put that a little bit on. Focus on personal stuff, which is fine, but absolutely he has to prioritize. So good for him. And Amanda and I are whoring ourselves out and pimping ourselves out to anybody who wants us as guests. She's quite pleased that she hasn't got to watch every single Matt Damon film, though, before The Odyssey comes out. So that's a plus. But yeah, we've got a couple of guest spots lined up. I think we're speaking to Never Ending watch list. I was recently talking to Martin over at Film versus Film about a couple of Nolan films. Yeah, The Odyssey's coming out, so I think I will probably be doing quite a few Christopher Nolan guest spots all over the place. And yesterday I recorded with the Movie the Needle team for 3 hours. Just talking about 3 films. So we're talking about 12 films.
I'm not going 3 hours.
Let's do the maths here.
Yeah, we're not going to manage 3 hours. Let me tell you, no one wants that here.
Well, I was just saying, we did 3 films in 3 hours. So, as I say, we're doing 12.
12
hours.
We're
not going to be sat here for 12 hours.
We'll be finished at 11 p.m. Let's go, team.
11 p.m. our time. Because Heather's calling from across the globe.
That's true. It'd be 5 a.m.
Across the Atlantic.
Okay, so before we get too deep into things today, we are doing a neon bracket. So we're putting 12 neon films up against each other to decide which is the best of the 12 most popular films according to Letterboxd. But before we get into it, Heather, do you have a favorite production studio for horror? Is there any production studio that tends to put out
or distribution studio?
Yeah,
right.
That's true. Yeah.
Because I guess neon's more distribution than production, right?
Right. Sorry, well, you in the prep, you were saying, let's look at A24, Blumhouse, and Neon mainly. And I think it's a tough one for me between A24 and Blumhouse. I think Neon there's a lot of Neon ones that we've been looking at here. I personally, quality wise, I'm tending towards the other two, I have to say, just because they've got more obvious highs for me. So Blumhouse, obviously, you discussed this in your last bracket. It's got Get Out and Us. It's got Split. It's got Speak No Evil. These are, films that I enjoy. And A24, obviously, with Hereditary, and it's got what else? It's got Lighthouse, Heretic. I loved Heretic. Green Room. I enjoyed Green Room. Sacred Deer. It's just got a bunch that I was like, I didn't realize necessarily it's A24 because you don't always know who's distributing if you're not really paying attention to that. But then when I went through the list, I'm like, okay, these are what's the word? Elevated horror. As you say. I'm surprised though for this one that we're not doing Oh, I know you haven't said the films yet, but I noticed that Revenge was not on it, which is also Neon, which is a great film and I think would have counted as horror, but maybe it's just not one of the rated ones. So who knows?
Yeah, so how I decided on the 12 was I pulled up Neon on Letterboxd and I sorted it by horror and popularity. And so the 12 most popular
is in
Neon
the 12
horror
most
films.
highest rated or 12 most rated?
Most watched.
Most
That's
watched.
why most popular.
Okay, because I was going to say, I think
Yes.
Revenge, Carly Faja's film before The Substance.
I was kind of pissed that it didn't make the list. It would have been number 13, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. So
okay. Well, there's a few films where I will be like, oh, I wish we'd had Revenge here.
Me too.
I think there are like at least two that I would have really rather watch Revenge. And I did not rewatch them, so for a good reason.
We got to go with the ones most people have seen. We got to rake in those views.
Populist here.
Engagement.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And we are, they're sorted on the bracket by Rotten Tomatoes score. So we'll share what
you mean
the
seated. There you go. They're seated on the bracket.
Okay, I don't know sports terms. Sorry.
I was just gonna so it would be like so you have one versus 12, or however. Yeah, okay. I gotcha.
Yeah.
It's very. Oh my god! I was leading it with the World Cup going on right now, and the American Twitter discovering the World Cup, and they're like, no, we can't go straight from the group stages into the bracket. We need to have 3 days to prepare our entire bracket. Like, and we're like, no, this is how it always works. Please, like. We don't need to apply your odd sports habits.
Well, they're doing like
the World Cup.
I'm used to it because of Frisbee. It's like a pool play system. Mm-hmm. So
it's like you're done with group. Let's go.
Let's go.
Knockout. Yep. Come on.
Before we get into our 12 films, we did ask on social media, what's your favorite horror film distributed by Neon? Film Podcast said, I have to say Longlegs, closely followed by the insane Titane. Sadie Sadusky said Cuckoo, so weird, so fun.
Wow. I mean, I like Cuckoo.
I saw that and I was like, ooh.
It's a fun shout. And I feel like Cuckoo was very underwatched. Our episode on Cuckoo is honestly probably our worst.
One of our worst, yeah.
And, but like, it's such a crazy original film.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it soon, though.
Without wanting to say too much, Cuckoo got a bit of a shitty draw here. I'm going to be perfectly honest. So, yeah.
Michael Mora said Longlegs. The Substance Pod said Hokum was a blast and Revenge was very good, but it might be Cuckoo for us.
Whoa, another one.
Is Cuckoo going to get a cult following?
Yeah, I mean, I would support that. I do.
We saw it in theaters with our buddy Matt Dalton, and I remember us all being like very. Like it was so much better than we were thinking because we had no idea what we were getting into.
Well,
so we'll talk about it. Sorry.
We're going to get to that one. It is
we're getting ahead of ourselves.
Yes, my bad. That's me.
Steinmetz.Ethan said Presence was incredible and I'll die on that hill.
Yep.
And then Get Tratified, I don't know how to say your name, I'm sorry, said for horror specifically, Possessor, Titane, and Enisman. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but Possessor and Titane on the list.
I have to call out Ethan, who texted me personally and said that he sobbed in the theater at the end of Presence.
We've said that on so many episodes.
I know. I love it. It made me happy.
It was a very noteworthy experience for us. He went and saw the movie because we liked it. He said he listened to the first part of our episode when it was spoiler-free, paused it, and then went to the theater and then came back. And we love you for that, Ethan. Thank you so much for your support, my friend. But again, we are going to be talking about Presence, but let's get into the full 12. I'm going to just list the whole 12, and then we're going to break it down into our individual rounds and just start talking movies. So the movies we are discussing tonight are Longlegs, Together, The Monkey, Immaculate, Titane, Infinity Pool, Cuckoo, Hokum, Presence, Crimes of the Future, Exit 8, and Possessor. So our first round up against each other is Longlegs and Crimes of the Future. So Matt, why don't you get us started by telling us your thoughts on Longlegs?
So this is kind of like my whole Skinamarink thing that people get mad at me. I don't really like Longlegs. I remember seeing it in theaters.
We go already.
Yeah.
We saw it in theaters. It didn't do much for me. I felt that the second act was uninteresting. I've realized I don't like, what's his name?
Oz
I
Perkins.
don't really like Oz Perkins, so far at least.
You've
Yeah,
seen
I
three of
know
his films.
I'm in the minority in here, but I loved what this movie was going for. I liked the Silence of the Lambs feel, and then when everything was like kind of perfectly connected in the end, I kind of did a little eye roll and lost my interest. And I think that's the big part, is I don't really like where the second half of this movie goes based on the setup it gives me. So maybe that's just what the expectations I was given in that first half, but I don't know. I didn't find it that scary either. Maybe the hype was too high going in.
It did have a lot of hype. The marketing was very much about
incredible.
how scary it was. It honestly, incredible marketing. And then because the marketing was so great, then there was also a lot of word of mouth about whether it really was scary or not, which made a lot of people go to the theaters. I mean, it was a really successful film. But
I think I was so
you.
locked in with the opening scene of this movie. And I was this is the direction I want this to go. I was like, I love the idea of someone using their natural, not telekinesis, but what is it? Just natural premonition to solve these crimes. And it being a woman who is going off and probably solving crimes against women. It was going to be very, again, Silence of the Lambs feeling with a supernatural element. I was pumped. Mm-hmm. So then for Tagayas just to go into what I thought was more run of the mill was disappointing for me. So that's me. Okay. Again, I know I'm mostly in the minority on this. I feel like I was bullied.
Polarizing movie.
I was bullied into giving this like a 4-star on Letterboxd, and I had to go back and be like, no, I know how I feel.
No one bullied you at all.
I felt like I felt like I was crazy.
Okay,
like
it's a very polarizing movie. I don't know why you think people really love this movie, because I think you pull anyone up and like maybe 2/3 of people max will say they loved it. At least 1/3 will say they hated it.
Yeah.
So you're not alone in not liking it. But Heather, tell us your thoughts on this movie.
This is my film because my birthday is the 14th of July. So
hell yeah.
And my dad's birthday is the 14th of May. And my brother's birthday is the 14th of November. This is our family film. So I'm so pissed that you had this great, the part of the marketing was, hey, I think it was it AMC or was it, I can't remember which one, it might have been AMC, it might not have been. They had this like marketing thing that if you came along to see Longlegs and you could prove that your birthday was in the 14th of any month, you would get free entry. And I was like saying, hey, if we lived in the US, we could go to one of these cinemas and make it the three of us could go out and have a really cheap night out. And my mom would just be like, yeah, whatever. Although she was trying to claim, she's like, well, my birthday's the 7th, so it's kind of half. I could see half the film. And to your point, Matt, maybe that's the half that she, maybe that's enough, to be honest. But no, but the thing about Longlegs, and I think this makes a difference, is a lot of these films that were on this list to watch, I didn't see in theaters because they didn't come out here. Literally, they did not come out here. Or they were maybe out for a weekend and disappeared again. And a lot of them were on my watch list and I just didn't get to them. So a lot of home viewings, which, and I do think it makes a difference. If you're like in the theater and you're bought in and you're invested, and I totally see where you're coming. The first half to me was stronger and then it does go downhill, but he's quite predictable. But I was still really invested and in going along for the ride. And as I said, the end is obvious. But
and
I
it's
didn't really
not
care.
The first half. It's not. That's I think what drives me nuts. That first half is like,
yes, exactly.
You're so like, oh, this could go anywhere.
Afterward.
I'm loving this, and then it kind of just like shoots itself in the foot for me as it goes, and then it's other foot, and then
and the Nick Cage character introduction is amazing. I mean, that's a great character introduction, right?
Yes.
But yeah, where it ends up is like, yeah, okay. But at the point, I didn't really care. I was along for the ride. And as I say, just because of it, the whole 14th representation for people born in the 14th is getting bonus points. So that's where I am. I enjoyed it. I'm not in the love. Actually, no, I loved it at the time. More I think about it, I kind of maybe dropped a couple of points off. But
that's kind of where I sat with it. I think I liked it a lot on first watch, and then like I think about it and I'm like, and then I rewatched it like a year ago, and then I was like, okay, no, I do really like this. And then I think about it again and I'm like, I really like the style here. I think it's really stylized and textured. I think it looks great. I think it builds a really unsettling atmosphere. The opening scene is absolutely iconic. It's beautiful, this like snowy landscape, and you don't see his face, and it takes a little bit to reveal what he actually looks like because it's shot from lower down because it's from the perspective of a child. I loved that. I think the Nick Cage reveal is awesome and scary. I think the performances are good. Nick Cage as an actor, period, but especially in this movie, you either love him or hate him.
Mike is great.
But I like him, and I think he is scary. And I probably could have done with a little less singing, but other than that, like I like I think he's scary.
This is the kind of unhinged role that he's kind of made for. This is his wheelhouse.
Exactly. And I think it's perfect. Like when I was looking forward to this movie for years before it came out because I knew Nicolas Cage and Micah Monroe were doing a horror movie together. And I was like, that's incredible. Like she's a scream queen. Like we know her for horror. And then Nicolas Cage being thrown in the mix, I was like, holy shit. This is going to be my bread and butter. This is going to be like made for me. This crazy ass with like amazing scream queen. And so I do like them together. I wish the end was a bit more surrealist. I don't like that it is not totally tied up in a tight bow, but it's a little too tied up.
This feels like Ray Palpatine levels of contrived to combine everything together at the end. I'm sorry.
I don't think it's that bad. I think that is really rude to say.
She's just so tied into everything. Like, I think I'm craving, I realize talking about this, I really need an investigative horror movie. I feel like I haven't seen one in a while. Like I love Seven. I love Silence of the Lambs. I need an investigative. It can be supernatural. It doesn't have to be, but give me some spooky detective work, please. It's probably another reason I love Never After Dark, which I've shouted out a bunch and isn't out anywhere yet. But like there's a level of, investigation going on in that. So.
Yeah, I agree. Where are they? What happened to them? They were a thing in the 90s, and where are they?
That's all I want. That's what I've realized. Somebody listen to me and make that for because I'll be seated.
All right. Well,
and that's the first half of this is that.
Well, Matt doesn't like Longlegs. He's made it clear. He's interrupted everyone else talking about it.
Yeah, I'm trying to sway the public opinion in my direction.
Yeah, but they're not voting. We are. So.
I know.
Yeah, they don't matter. So
this is not a draft. You wanted to do a bracket.
Yeah, you picked this.
You picked this.
I know.
So, we have two of us who seemingly really liked Longlegs and one of us who is a hater. Let's move on to Crimes of the Future, though. Matt, you clearly want to talk nonstop, so I'll let you get started with talking about Crimes of the Future.
I'm sorry. You guys kept making me think of interesting things about the movie to say, so I'm sorry. I like Crimes of the Future a lot. So if that goes against both of you, I like David Cronenberg. I saw this a couple of years ago and was pretty blown away, and I made Hannah watch for the first time. It's very odd. I think its structure is weird and its understanding of time can be a little confusing, but I think this is like a perfect little sci-fi commentary on art and the world and like just the direction in which we're heading. And so I don't know. And political intrigue too. I don't even know. It's hard movie to talk about other than I think all the performances are really good. It looks great, but it's definitely not going to be for everybody.
No.
It's pretty odd. So as a first time viewer, Hannah, I could kick it to you. Tell me what you thought.
So I was really excited to watch this because I've heard about it for a while. I think it's conceptually so fucking cool. Like just hearing Matt describe the plot of this movie, I was like, oh, I'm so sold. Like I'm in. And I feel that way watching it. However, I found it weirdly hard to follow for me. And I don't know what about it was hard for me to connect with. I also felt like all the actors were mumbling the whole fucking movie. Okay, so I'm not the only one who felt that because I was getting
Kristen Stewart problem though. Generally, I was
getting so pissed off. I was like, "Can we get fucking subtitles?" And then for some reason, when we pulled up subtitles where we were watching, it only had French, which obviously does not help me because I am an English speaker.
Spanish, I think, in my version. Yeah.
So I was just like getting so pissed off. I think they actually underutilized Kristen Stewart's weird ass. I think
good.
She's perfect in this movie.
Her. We needed
this
more.
Is maybe her best performance.
She was so good.
They used her natural weirdness and her natural mannerisms to like be perfect for this character.
It's like everything that makes her not my favorite Bella Swan is amped up to 11 in this movie and works really well.
And it works for this weird like sexual desire she has for him and like the tension of that. Like it's, I don't know, works perfectly. She's just a little freak.
Sorry, go on.
I just found it hard to like actually connect with while physically watching it. And I think I liked it hearing about it more than I enjoyed the actual experience of watching it. But what I will say is the end is fucking awesome. I love the end reveal. And I love that close-up shot of him like finally smiling and not in pain in this like black and white shot at the end. I thought that was like genius. And it left me, even though I was like kind of pissed off watching it, it then left me with like, oh, that was good.
There's like a click moment at the end. Like you get it when it ends.
It does,
and I felt that way the first time, which is why I think upon second viewing, I liked it so much more because I actually knew what was happening.
Yeah.
So
I also was having an issue with my meds the week I watched it. So like straight up, my mood was a little off. So I'm like wondering if that contributed to why I was so pissy the whole time. But it was the mumbling that like I just could not deal with at all. But Heather, tell us about it.
Yeah, this was the one I referred to earlier. I didn't finish this. I had to prioritize other things. I'm really sorry. So maybe I should have done if you're saying the ending is great, but I was just getting annoyed with it. Sorry. So my problem, and this is maybe a hot take, and I think it probably is. So I'm really sorry, but I don't like Léa Seydoux. Like I just don't.
That is a hot take.
I know. I'm really sorry. I just do not enjoy her as an actress. I don't. I think she's, and this is weird because she's generally, I don't know who knows her French stuff, but I find for French films, when she's performing in her native language, I just feel so much better. I mean, it's similar for Marion Cotillard as well. They're not, to me, they're not actors or who can switch easily between their native language and English and make it work the same way. It feels like a foreign language, and I'm sorry, and it feels not as natural, obviously. I mean, in a way, but I don't know. To me, it just doesn't transcend between the language, and I am really sorry. It's a me problem, I know, because
I think I agree
praise
with
her
you
all the time. And as I say, when I've seen her acting in French, I don't so much have this issue.
I agree with you in some of her films. Like I think the James Bond movies, I feel that way for sure. She feels like kind of dead-eyed and disconnected.
Zero chemistry. I don't like it.
But I think in some of these, or something like Death Stranding, the video game she's in, her kind of like disconnect with the language almost like kind of plays into it a little bit.
Maybe it works in this one because of the sci-fi stuff, perhaps. Yeah. I don't know. But the thing is because I have like sort of personal issues here. It's kind of stopped me. But then you have Kristen Stewart, who I love. So, either way, I had to prioritize. And I was listening to this on pretty good headphones. And this was setting my misophonia off, like the squelching and the body.
Yes.
And I'm like, I don't know if I can get through this. And then I realized there was one other film that I hadn't finished or hadn't got to. And I'm like, you know what? I need to go and watch the end of this one first. So I did. And I'm like, am I going to go back and finish this literally a minute before we record? So,
well, I'm asking you,
but I probably should. Now you're telling me the ending's great.
The ending just, I think, brings it all together in an interesting way. It kind of resolves all the political stuff going on and the government interference and your understanding of Viggo Mortenstein's character. Shout out him because he's the best.
I liked that. I liked all the kind of the government agency being involved and them kind of, getting like, meddling and all of this. Like, I'm like that. I would. So I'm exactly the same as you, Hannah. Like, as you're reading the synopsis, I'm thinking this sounds great. And the opening scene, totally in. I'm like, this is weird. This is interesting. I want to know why. And and then when they started like with the exploring of the body, like the organs, and I'm just like, oh, I don't know. I need to change my headphones to worse ones.
I had read up a little bit that people had theorized he was influenced by actual government psyops where they would infiltrate art groups, which are usually more left-leaning, and basically come in to try to overthrow them or make them disband and kind of go more individualistic instead of collective mindset, because that was like a fear they had. So the idea is the government is coming into this, what would be forward thinking people among an art collective, underground surgery art collective, to basically stop this evolution of people from happening. And so there's some political commentary there, but it's supposedly things that actually happen, because, the CIA is amazing at infiltrating.
I totally grow extra organs. That's totally happening.
No.
Oh, what? Have you say?
You were saying
you also sit in a chair that wobbles to make you. No, also a chair that you sit in a chair that wobbles to help you eat. Okay.
Yeah. Honestly, I have tummy problems. I probably should. I need to get that chair.
I'm talking about the infiltration.
No, I know.
Of groups.
Matt, I was making a joke.
I know.
Jeez Louise.
That's it. That's, again, I'm trying to sway public perception here, even though this is not a voting one.
Yeah, it's not. So I think it's pretty obvious which way this is leaning. But Matt,
I'm giving it to Crimes of the Future. I think it's awesome. And baby Cronenberg's on here, so Papa needs to go forward to face him.
Okay. Heather?
Yeah, no, Longlegs.
Yeah, so it's down to me.
What are you giving
Really sorry, Matthew, but I'm going to pick Longlegs.
Sacrilegious. No David Cronenberg.
I don't think it's perfect, but it works really well for me. And I'm sorry. I watched other Cronenberg this year that just hits for me.
The Fly,
considerably more than Crimes of the Future. So, all right. So round one, Longlegs versus Crimes of the Future. We
one of the films I didn't see is or didn't see fully is out. So that Yes. I was like, oh my God, if it keeps going forward with like ones that I haven't seen, I'm going to like, this is going to be shit if it wins at the end.
I do want you to finish and message me, because I think I had a similar feeling the first time, and then when it ended again, it was like, oh, I get it. And so, but maybe it's one of those ones that takes two viewings.
I love the concept, but I just had to like look at the time and going, got to prioritize something. And as I say, maybe the worse headphones perhaps, rather than the whole immersive experience with my really good ones. No.
All right, so the next round is Hokum versus Immaculate. So we're going to start by talking about Hokum.
Oh, I was going to say, should we all just shit on Immaculate first?
What we're going to say about Hokum really quick is that this is not out in Germany.
No, it is not.
Heather is.
I know. I've had it on the watch list for weeks, months, and it's just not out yet. And we don't even have a date last time I looked. So it's like, and this is the problem. This is what I was saying about the other ones. They come into theaters when you have to kind of almost like just hope you've got time that weekend that they're in, and that you pick up on the fact that it's out and then go and see it. And if it doesn't work out, then you're straight to streaming, if even that. So this was a whole challenge. So yes, Hokum was clear. It was completely impossible. I am so sorry. And I'm really annoyed.
Right. Heather, we're going to have to have you move to the States or apply for Overlook Film Festival next year, because that's where we saw this.
It was so fun.
Fly into New Orleans and come party with the degenerates like us.
I actually saw it 3 times in theaters, because we saw it at the festival, then I saw it early in Philly, and then we saw it in theaters.
I saw it twice in theaters, so just to brag.
But I mean, given my thoughts on what it's up against,
I think you'll feel fine.
Our selling point to you is for me, it's actually my favorite horror movie of the year, which a lot of people are giving to Obsession or Hannah to Leviticus. But Hokum completely blew me away, and I was disappointed it wasn't getting the same flowers that. Okay, but
why did it blow you away?
I don't want to spoil it for Heather.
We're talking about the movie.
Oh, okay.
No, don't spoil it, but like say why you like it.
Yeah, this is really actually bad, because please don't spoil.
Don't spoil. I think it's actually a perfect. I've said it before. It's like a perfect script and film. In terms, it's not like the greatest film I've ever seen, but it is. There's zero fat on this thing. Everything is there for a reason. Everything is put together. The space is built amazing. You understand exactly like the space that Adam Scott is working in, which allows the scares to work even better. Mm-hmm. I think the story is great, and the internal struggle of our character is fascinating, interesting, relatable, and works with the horror very well. I think it is a plithy movie, as I learned that word. Pithy. I keep saying plithy. Pithy. I learned this word recently.
And he clearly didn't actually.
I was talking about this movie, and a friend of ours said, "I don't think it's as pithy as you think." And then he went back and said it was pithy. So
yeah, he watched it again and was like, "Oh yeah,
Matt was right."
Yes, Matt is right.
I'll take that. Say that again, please.
To echo Matt's points, I do think this is a very pithy film. I feel like everything that comes up has like a natural conclusion. It comes like it goes full circle. So it's a very tight script. There's really nothing superfluous, in my opinion.
It's scary.
It has really great setup and foreshadowing. There are things earlier in the movie that very much hint to events that happen later. And if you like rewatch it, you pick up on it immediately and you're like, oh shit,
that was one of them.
You really did just say it.
Yeah.
It has a great performance from Adam Scott. It's great aesthetically, really good lighting. And I think it is the scariest film of all 12 that we are talking about today. I also love the themes of like grief and guilt and forgiveness. I think it really resonated with me a lot in what it was trying to say.
What kind of scary is it? Is it scary jump scary? Is it scary like...
It's both.
It's like a little jump scare, but there's just moments of putting something on a screen that makes you feel like you need to leave the theater. Not in like a gross way. It just feels like something's coming out of the screen and is going to live in your home now, is what I would say.
There's some of that. There are some jump scares as well that are pretty well done.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. No, yeah. I was hoping, but still nothing. So.
Well, let's let you talk some. We're going to move on to Immaculate, and you can go first.
Okay. God, I hated this film. Yeah. This was one that I was thinking I should maybe go and see this in cinemas when it comes out. It was everything. Oh, Sydney Sweeney's great. The backstory, as we discussed, I think off mic, about how she still managed to get the funding for it and really was behind this project, I think is wonderful. We need more of this. This is great. I still don't like the film. It's, to me, it is quite well shot. I'll say give it that. There are a couple of maybe kind of gory parts to it, but nothing. It wasn't overly scary. Not that I necessarily need that. And my main issue was it just felt the whole way through like cosplay. I mean, all of these nuns were gorgeous. They all had, I was going to say immaculate makeup. Oh, sorry. I mean, they all had perfect makeup, all incredible skin, which is not to say beautiful women cannot be nuns, but it just felt like cosplay. Sydney Sweeney, her whole nun's habit, is that the word? I don't know, was way too tight. And I'm like, is this some kind of fantasy? I mean, I'm sure it's not because she was the producer behind it, but I'm like looking up who's the director. Oh, it's a man. Of course it is. Yeah. So themes of body autonomy and being in control of what happens to your body as a woman. This is great. All for it. But just how they brought it to screen, I did not enjoy at all. As I say, did look nice, the countryside where it was all set. Lovely.
The setting is pretty.
Yeah. But I think if you're praising things like the countryside looked nice, that's the best thing you can say about it.
That's a problem. Yeah.
It's not a great endorsement. So
no.
That is my thoughts on Immaculate.
I
had more notes. I did say my main thing was the cosplay, which really, really bothered me. And I was just sitting there like rolling my eyes. What's it separate? Yeah, they're all gorgeous. They all have perfect makeup. I said that. Oh, the music reminded me of Suspiria. I made a note of. There you go.
I did like the music.
Yes.
I
there
wrote
you go.
that down
Another plus point. And there's something I've written down that I can't read. Never mind. Yeah, probably wasn't very important. This happens to me all the time. I make all these notes and then can't read my writing afterwards. Yeah.
It's Matt.
I like what you touched on about the direction and how it looks nice. I actually thought this is a well-directed movie. Yeah. Its biggest issue is its script. And there are parts, if you listen to our episode, that I like. I think this movie should have began at about the hour in mark and should have been extended an hour. Because the most interesting thing, I can say spoilers, right?
Yeah, just
is it Jurassic Jesus?
Yeah,
They're literally using the blood of Jesus that they found on one of the things to impregnate a woman to reborn Jesus.
Yeah, we didn't know. We didn't need the crap at the beginning. Let's get to the weird shit. It needed to be weirder. Yes, this is the thing. I never say this. I don't like weird shit, right? Normally, but this was just like so bland.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
This should have been more like Crimes of the Future and been sci-fi and weirdness. And we should have had some fucked up Jesus spawn DNA. And that's what the movie should have been about in my opinion, because that would have been fun.
Can we discuss the last scene as well? Like, I wanted to see what that little shit looked like.
I know.
Why didn't we see this creepy little devil child? Sorry, Jesus child.
Whatever it was, I don't know.
I think
what
devil child
what did it
feels
look like?
Appropriate.
Yeah.
I am
it was
imagining
made from
this as like
Jesus DNA.
a fucked up
GNA,
lizard.
if you will.
In my head, it's like a really angry lizard baby.
But that's what would have been cool. Like, what are the repercussions of the Antichrist being born and being a physical being on here? Like that, I don't know. Give me some weird sci-fi stuff with that. That's all I was asking for.
Yeah, exactly. No,
yeah,
completely. I rarely ask for stuff like that. And but that would have been more interesting.
Because conceptually, the ending is cool.
I fear they weren't actually interested in going the cool direction. Like, I feel like they wanted this plot twist, and they were like, the whole movie is leading up to this plot twist.
That we're trying to do Jesus DNA impregnation.
Yeah, and I don't think they cared about where it went from there. So, of course, we weren't going to get past that because they had no ideas past that.
They just needed to mix it with some frog DNA and then open up a park of Jesus's.
I would go.
And then Jesus's break out and start eating people.
I'll pay. I'll go to that park.
And then Sam Neill has to come in to make the investors less nervous about Jesus Park. Yep.
Okay, so I found the intro to this movie is
Sam Neill, Jurassic Park Sam Neill, or Sam Neill from Event Horizon Sam Neill, or which Sam Neill do you want?
I want Event Horizon Sam
Neill.
Event
Horizon Sam Neill.
I love Event Horizon Sam Neill.
Within the plot of Jurassic Park, but it's Jesus Park, but with Event Horizon Sam Neill.
Yes.
All right.
And then we're going. We don't need eyes.
We don't need eyes. Yeah.
It's so good. Oh my God. Okay. Kim.
I love Event Horizon. Oh my goodness.
I think I could use a rewatch. I don't think that I didn't love the movie, but I
haven't seen it since I saw it in cinema, and I've never been so scared.
That's valid. Space is scary, and Sam Neill with no eyes is really scary.
I'm sorry. I'm too busy thinking about Jesus Park and how many insane people would go to that.
Let me talk. Okay? Is that cool? Thank you. So yeah, the intro scene, in my opinion, was scary, but then it drops off so significantly, and then, quite frankly, is really boring for like an hour. And I fear it's very one note in terms of all of the performances, but especially our leading lady, Sydney Sweeney.
I'm not buying it.
I think up until she starts faking the miscarriage, she's doing absolutely nothing. Like, she's too meek to the point of being uninteresting. I do think once she has to actually start faking giving birth and then like giving birth, I think she does a little better. I applaud her for being so determined to make this film and make such a clearly pro-choice, anti-religious institution laying claim to a woman's body movie. I think movies about forced birth, especially in this period of time, is like pretty important. But
not when they're boring.
Not when they're boring.
Yeah.
So yeah, this movie's greatest sin is having a really batshit concept and somehow being super boring and uninteresting. Like, that's crazy. So yeah, I don't really have anything else to add that you guys didn't already say. So I think, again, this is clear where it's going. We have Hokum, again, at 90%. I forgot to say the Rotten Tomatoes scores earlier. Hokum at 90% versus Immaculate at 71% on Rotten Tomatoes. Heather, you didn't see Hokum.
No, but still, sight unseen, I'm saying Hokum.
Perfect.
I'm giving it to Hokum.
And I'm giving it to Hokum.
Right, Hokum moves
I figured
on.
that would be where we were going because I listened to your podcast, the review of Immaculate. So I was like, well, you know,
they don't like it either.
Being a decisive vote, if I haven't seen something, I feel bad, but I figured you two were going to go with Hokum anyway. So
yes. And since I forgot to share earlier, Longlegs was at an 85% and Crimes of the Future was at an 80%. So we did go along with the critics, actually. Okay, so next we have Presence versus Cuckoo. Presence has an 89% on Rotten Tomatoes. I'm going to go first, then we'll go Heather, then we'll go Matt.
Yep.
So I love how experimental this is in form, and that goes a long way with me.
Speaking on Presence.
Or
Presence, yes.
Presence, yes.
So I absolutely loved how this was filmed. I think it's really unique, obviously. I think it does a really great job showing a family dynamic living a day-to-day life. I think there's great performances from members of the family, but especially the Chris Sullivan, who's playing the dad. Like, I really buy into him as a loving, caring father. Some of the things he says to his kids, I'm like, that's bars, buddy. I know there's a really great man inside of you. I hope to see it someday. And then he also says to his son, it wouldn't kill you to stand up for her one time. We were like in the theaters and I'm like silent clapping to myself. I'm like, yes, King. I do think this film was mismarketed severely. I feel like they tried to do the Longlegs thing and they're like, it's so scary. And it's like, it's not though. This movie is much more of a family drama than it is a horror. It just happens to be from this perspective of a ghost, which is cool. There's like a few scenes that did like make me feel tense or uncomfortable, like the way it peers out of the closet. I was like, oh my God, what's it doing? And you're kind of waiting for it to be aggressive until you realize it's just simply not going to be, and it's not interested in that. But yeah, thinking about it from the perspective of it being more of a drama than a horror, I really like it, and it made me hysterically sob.
You and Ethan.
I was like such a problem leaving the theater. I was like, I can't move. Like, I am crying too hard. I don't want people to see me. Like, you got to give me a sec. So this one really did resonate with me. I do think the conclusion wraps up kind of fast, but I like where it goes, and I think it works. What about you, Heather?
Yeah, pretty much the same. I did like the perspective of the camera here. I loved it when they were breaking like the fourth wall. I love that. Anytime that happens in a film, it kind of really sets you on edge, and you can think, well, clearly it was on purpose. I mean, in this case, it's obviously on purpose, but like in any other films, when they suddenly like do it, and then you're like, okay, why did they do that? Was that a mistake? So that does set you on edge. This is not a horror. I'm sorry. Like, why is this being classed as a horror? Because it's a ghost. I just don't. Because it's really not. I was kind of expecting maybe something, like you said, like maybe something to happen, or maybe it was going to, like attack somebody with knives or something. But nothing like that happened. It was just like a little protective spirit, which was nice. And I did.
There's a serial killer in the movie. That gets it close enough, right?
Yeah, but you don't see that. I mean, you do, but not.
You see him try.
Yeah, but it's like, that's more like thriller crime. It's not, there's no,
we count that here.
Horror. Like,
we're thriller crime with the Hannahs now.
It's with like cling film. Like, it's not. So yeah, and I thought that was very predictable, I have to say. Like, who it is, no
really? I can't remember if I found that predictable or not.
Oh my God, he was like too good to be true. There's something wrong with this guy. Like, he's
the
not.
whole time I was like, this kid's a little shit.
I thought you meant about
not
who
that
the
twist.
was.
No, not the final one. No. That I no.
I can say you're smart.
No way. Like, I didn't get that at all. Because then, of course, when I realized what it was, I was like, wait a minute, hang on. Do I need to go back and rewatch this? And was he? Sorry, this is going to be a spoiler. This like, was he dead the whole time? But was he dead the whole time? But he wasn't, obviously, because he's interacting properly. It's not like I see dead people and all this kind of thing. Like, but I did kind of question myself, like, wait a minute, have I completely missed everything? But then I was like, no. It is a non-linear thing. That's the whole idea. I was like, okay, phew, because I think he was proper interaction with everybody, like actual real interaction, and not like when you go back and rewatch The Sixth Sense that you realize that actually there's been no interaction with anybody else apart from the kid. But yes, screenplay up and down, which is not surprising for David Cope, who I know wrote Jurassic Park, but also did Disclosure Day this year, which was also kind of up and down with the screenplay. There's a few cliched like lines or ones where I'm like, they wouldn't really say this, like whatever. But it didn't really bother me too much. I don't know what this film is really trying to say, bigger message to it. That doesn't really matter, though. I was entertained. Love a film that's, quick, under 2 hours. All of these pretty much were, which is great. So I really, really enjoyed this. And I think they could have done a bit more with the ghost idea. But Yeah, and it totally wrapped up too quickly. I'm completely with you. I was like looking at the time to go. I'm like, wait, hang on, what's going to happen in the last like quarter of an hour? And it all happens in the last quarter of an hour. So, but yeah, this was the one that I prioritized, by the way, over finishing Crimes of the Future.
Yeah, reasonable.
That's valid.
I love, and he what a year Soderbergh had. Like, I mean, this is a great retirement. If I'm this productive when I retire, it's like, he had Black Bag and this last year. Wow. Pretty good.
It's so cool for a director who is a household name to be like, I'm gonna get a little student filmy with this. I'm gonna get a little experimental.
And I read about that. They filmed it in like 11 days in this like random house. Just came in, filmed it, off we go again. And I think he said, I read a little bit. He said, when you're kind of retired and you don't really have anything to prove anymore, and you just like want to be, quick and dirty with something, and don't need much in terms of props or anything. You just need a good camera. And I think he did the cinematography himself because he had this vision. That's how you get a $2 million movie out of it, like as in budget. So yeah, good for him.
Mm-hmm. So I'll say, I think this is a lovely movie. I really enjoyed it. That's the best way to put it, right? It's pleasant. It really is. I mean, there are scary moments, there are uncomfortable moments, and it really does, I think, make you sit with some of those nerves. And I think the way it kind of all comes together and wraps up is really amazing. I think it's a great family drama with a lot of heart and emotion. It kind of reminds me of Ghost Story.
Yes.
Very different, but it's a similar idea of like benevolent ghosts. And I really from seeing from the perspective of something that is no longer with us. And so it just it's one of those ones that really worked for me. I actually only ever saw it once. I was very moved. I love Lucy Liu and want her in everything. And so I was just really pumped to see her kicking ass in a movie again, especially in this. Oh, she's so
good.
She's so good. You want to grab her through the screen and shake her because she's pissing you off.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I think it's
preferred child. Oh my God.
Yes.
Oh, stop it.
It's insane.
It's just, I think it's really well
so
made.
Obvious as well. It's like, is anybody really like this obvious?
Well, I think so.
Yes.
And I will also say, when you're talking about that you got the twist early, I think they do that on purpose to hide the real twist.
The real twist. Yes. Okay.
So it's like, well, they're gonna make you think you're this smarty. It's like, oh, I figured it out, but they got something else hidden for you, which I think is good writing.
Yeah, I think with the blondie floppy hair guy, I don't think it's like, I don't think it's necessarily a twist. I just think it's like, oh, we're gonna guess who it was, and it's like it's kind of obvious. But yeah, no, I didn't get the last one.
What was my 15-second summary? It was like, never trust a blonde-haired, blue-eyed white boy or something.
It was something like that, yeah.
Like NSYNC hair or something, yeah. Backstreet Boys, yeah.
I don't have too much to say that you guys didn't already say. I think this is a really cool movie. Mm-hmm. I'm very happy it was made. I loved seeing it in the theaters. And it's nice to just see something that gets your brain remembering what you can do with this medium.
Yeah.
You forget sometimes what people can do, so...
Yeah, something experimental, I feel like, goes a long way with us, honestly.
Yeah. And I mean, hell, we talked about the writer and Disclosure Day. Like, that's even something I felt with Disclosure Day. I know it's controversial. Everyone knows that I like it, though. But there are things that movie does, and you're like, yeah, I forgot. Like, that other directors are unable to do what Spielberg does.
No, seriously.
And you just watch
100%.
And wow,
yeah.
like
you take it for granted with him. That's
you
the thing.
You do completely.
Yeah.
And watching Disclosure Day, I was just like, wow. Yeah, this guy is the man.
Yep.
You forget sometimes.
I'm also high on Disclosure Day, so
good.
You're a good company.
Oh, I think it's a mess. In some areas, but man, did it work for me.
Yeah, the end is awesome.
It all comes together.
Act 3 of Disclosure Day. But anyway, let's talk about a movie with a balls to the walls ending.
I know this is the hardest one for me. Cuckoo versus Presence.
Yeah, that's what I said. I think both of them have got like it's that's a really tough. This should be like a semi-final. This one, in my opinion.
Who's going first on Cuckoo?
So Cuckoo is a 79% on Rotten Tomatoes. Heather, why don't you go first? Tell us about Cuckoo.
Yeah, this was I had Cuckoo on my watch list for so long because I really like Hunter Schafer. I love her. I think she's great. I want to see her in more.
Agreed.
She is she's just so magnetic to me. Like, I just can't stop staring at her. I love her. And I was so excited to see her lead this film. this film has such a great concept and idea. I loved it. I really loved the idea of what they were going for, the idea, what the title actually means. It's kind of obvious, but they take a while for you to truly, and the way it builds as well, and you're like, there's something not right about these people, and because what the story ultimately is. It's a horror going in, and so, but the way it still builds, but without being slow, I think it builds really well, builds tension very well. Dan Stevens, oh my goodness. So I needed to go down a rabbit hole on this, because I'm like, this is Dan Stevens. Mm-hmm. I'm aware of who Dan Stevens is. I need to figure out why the hell Dan Stevens does that freaking amazing German accent. Like,
and it's
incredible. German. It's incredible. And I live in this bloody country, so I do speak the language, but I cannot put on a German person doing English. I can't do it. And I've lived here for 25 years, right? I cannot imitate a German speaking English. And the way he does it, it is perfect. I'm like, wait, I need to find out. Has he got German heritage? Is there anything to him? And no, he is fluent apparently in French and German, but that means nothing. I'm fluent in, German. I can't do what he's doing. And I'm sure he's studying it, of course, speaking to actual Germans who are part of the cast as well. But wow. And he's so creepy. And the way he keeps saying, oh, my love or my darling, which does come from German, where they do say that kind of word. And I always find a little bit creepy when they say it in German, and especially when you think about what it means, but he's just translating. But it's so creepy, and there's something not right. And you're like, there's something wrong with this guy, but he's trying to be all oh my goodness, he's so good. So he and Hunter Schafer, they are both so incredible, and they are what kept me so involved. And yeah, it just goes batshit crazy at the end. And this was, it kind of lived up to, I was expecting to enjoy it. There was bits where I was kind of maybe not quite so invested, or was like, okay, what are we doing? Where are we going? We don't need this. There was bits that we didn't need, I have to say. I can't think, I watched this a while ago, but it didn't feel as tight as some of the films that we're talking about. But overall, it absolutely worked for me. And I thought, like, this was an original idea, and we love originality, doing something different where you don't know where it's going. I didn't know where it was going. And we always love it when, we get, it is a cliche, but it's like, two siblings that don't necessarily like get on, or there's some jealousy there, and then
cliches are cliches for a reason. It's because they work.
Yeah, but it works. That's the whole point, because you could sit there and roll your eyes and go, oh, obviously, but it got me. Like,
it works. Yeah. I totally agree. I think Hunter Schafer really holds her own. The whole movie is her, and she's killing it. And Dan Stevens seems like he's having the absolute time of his life.
Yeah.
No one has had more fun making a movie than Dan Stevens in Cuckoo, I feel like. And I also was really impressed with him. I remember doing so much background research when we did this episode, because I was like, how did he do that? And I learned he learned German in school. He's done other German films. So Mans is just, he was prepped and ready to go. This movie goes absolutely insane. You could never in a million years guess where it's going, but I'm having fun with what it's doing. And I think this movie looks awesome. Yep. Part of it is, like we mentioned with Immaculate, where the scenery is stunning. That helps. It is beautiful, but it's also shot on film, and you can tell. It is a great looking movie because of the way it is shot, not just because it's in a beautiful setting.
I forgot it was shot on film. So good.
Didn't look up the budget for this, but it feels that it's a smaller budget compared to what it actually looks like. It looks much bigger budget.
It does a lot with a small budget, because I even think some of the like shootout fight scenes that this ends up having.
I think it's a $7-ish million budget.
That's impressive. Oh no, it's box office though.
Yeah.
But this was it didn't they just put this is one of the ones that they pretty much was out here for like literally a weekend.
Yeah.
For example, and I think you could have done a lot with it, German. Like,
it barely got a release here. It was barely in theaters.
So if you come to me, I think this is a perfectly good film. It's like not one that completely stands out to me later, but I remember having a lot of fun watching it. I liked its twists and turns. I love a little sci-fi concept. Hunter Schafer's great. Dan Stevens is great. And I didn't know that his accent was really good, so I'm going to study it because I'm always looking for new accents to use for D&D NPCs. We're bad guys.
It sounds genuinely like a German speaking English.
I can do an English or a French person speaking English, but I don't know if I can do a German speaking English. So I'll work on that.
It's so specific, and he nails it.
All right. Yeah. No, that's good to know. So, but overall, I like this movie. There's not much I can say. Like, I think it's just well made.
Yeah,
it has some very good and scary moments, and that's it though. That's all I got. Okay. I like it.
So let's put these two bad boys.
I don't want to
up against each other. Heather,
no,
we're gonna go to you first.
Oh no, do I? Oh God.
Well, now you don't have to be a tiebreaker in any way, so feel better about that.
Yeah, but this just really sucks because these are two, like, they're also completely different, like so different.
Yes. They're both doing something so unique in very different ways.
Cuckoo's unique in its script, while Presence is unique in its filmmaking. Yeah, it's form.
Yeah, I think in terms of being invested, like, kind of the whole way through and not at any point wondering, I mean, apart from one part, how long we've got to go here, I think I'm just going to have to go with Presence just because I think it is potentially just slightly better made and there's a little bit more professionalism to it. And but I just, I mean, to me, Presence is not a horror, so I don't even think we're really comparing. It's not like with Like here at all. So it's tough. I think Presence is the one that I would go back to more. So I'm sorry, Cuckoo, because I did enjoy you.
Who are you going to next?
You can go.
I'm also going to give mine to Presence.
Yeah.
Which, again, I like Cuckoo, but there's something about the how Presence makes me feel that I think kind of makes it just bust through there a little bit. I remember Presence more. And where would you have gone?
I was going to go for Presence. I knew that from...
unanimous.
Oh, okay, all right, okay, yeah.
I do quite like Cuckoo, but like I've rewatched Presence and I haven't rewatched Cuckoo. Now I really want to rewatch Cuckoo talking about it, but I rewatched Presence for a reason and I sobbed both times.
Yeah,
it was emotionally resonant. Yeah.
I think though Cuckoo, I mean, shout out because I think it would have won a lot of other match ups that we don't, that it's not going to get a chance to do. So luck of the draw.
Yep.
Sorry, Hunter, we love you.
Yeah, great cast, beautiful looking. Yeah, there's so much to like about it. And I do think more people need to watch it and listen to our episode on it. Okay, so next we're doing Infinity Pool versus The Monkey. Infinity Pool with an 87% on Rotten Tomatoes. I'm just going to get started on this one.
We watched it last night for the first time.
So did I.
We watched it with my mom, which was maybe a mistake.
This is a fucking weird one to watch.
No, you did not watch this.
Yeah, we did. God. She's in the other room right now.
Okay, there's like
we didn't know
visual of like a penis ejaculating, and it was bananas to watch.
It was the whole screen.
Yeah,
we didn't know. Yeah, I screamed and I was like, "I'm so sorry." I screamed twice at some of the penises because I was like, "Oh my god, why am I doing this with my mother-in-law?"
Alexander Skarsgård, he likes to show it.
Was that actually? No, that had to be a prosthetic, right?
Probably not the ejaculating part, but I mean,
I don't know. I'm gonna have to look that up.
Yeah, my whole note is just in all caps, penis. So this is another one where the setting is gorgeous, but I also like how it's filmed. I think this is also another film where it's going in one direction and then all of a sudden it's like, bam, plot twist. Mm-hmm. This is cool though, because unlike Immaculate, the plot twist that's crazy happens like very early on. And it's spoilers because I really can't talk about this movie without saying it. The cloning plot twist is bananas, and the visuals of that process is really cool. The way it's shown and demonstrated. I think this movie is well acted. I think Mia Goth, I normally don't like her. She's not my girl. I think she's killing it here. This is probably my favorite Mia Goth performance that I've seen. She's nailing it. Yeah, killing literally. And I think thematically it's really interesting. Like this bit about how like nothing is truly illegal for the rich because they can just buy their way out of the consequences. And at the end, these people are able to just go back to their normal lives of working or being a stay-at-home wife and just redecorating the home. And meanwhile, like this man is absolutely horrified. So yeah, I thought it was really interesting. I don't think it's my favorite Brandon Cronenberg film, but I had a lot of fun with it.
I'm in agreement with you. I enjoyed it. It's pretty out there. I think there are moments, at least compared to his other films, that are more style over substance. I think like the orgy scene with all of the different visuals, while really cool,
it's really good looking,
doesn't really have a purpose. I'm going to say it. And I feel like kind of bad saying that. I prefer my surrealist moments to also like have a reason to happen other than we're just doing drugs and having an orgy. Like,
and it was so long.
It was really long. And like, I think, again, we talk about David Lynch all the time. That could be the bingo card. Like he does scenes like this in Twin Peaks: The Return and different shows, or sorry, in different movies. And they feel very mesmerizing, where this one I started kind of eyes glazing over. I'm going to complain about this movie, even though I like it. So you said a lot of nice things. My other complaint, and I'm going to bring up Crimes of the Future again to be funny, is some people have said that Crimes of the Future is a critique of Cronenberg, Papa Cronenberg, as I call him, critiquing other people trying to jack his style. And it's that guy with the ears sewn all over him that everyone's like, they don't even function. The ears don't even work. Like it's just creepy looking, but there's no substance, right? And some have said that that's a critique of his own son and that Brandon has been influenced by his father and has been trying to, again, jack his style without understanding exactly the substance of it. However, there's another movie on this list that I think does nail that. So I don't want to completely shit on Baby Cronenberg. But that's my biggest complaint, I think, with Infinity Pool. I like what it's going for. I think that there need to be a little more to chew on that it doesn't have. So, but maybe I'm just being dumb. I think there's an idea of rich people having no consequences, and that's kind of really it. So, which is also true.
So true, bestie.
Yeah.
Heather?
Yeah, I also watched this very recently. Yeah, I was going into thinking, okay, I'm going to be put off swimming. I was saying this 2 years. I was like, don't put me off swimming. But no, it's got nothing to do with swimming. But I was like, okay, good. I can still go in infinity pools. Although, quite frankly, if you look up like accidents that can happen in infinity pools, you will still be put off infinity pools. So you don't need to watch a Cronenberg film. Yeah, this looks great. There were parts to it I think did go on a little bit long. You mentioned the orgy scene and the drug induced and what's real and what's not. The concept of this is great. I mean, there's so many clone films. I just seem to like films with clones. I wrote down, it's Us, it's The Prestige, it's Mickey 17, and we seem to have a lot of clone films out there. But hey, whatever. We're doing something a bit different. Mia Goth really pissed me off at the bit. I don't like Mia Goth's like baby little posh English accent thing. It sounds so fake to me.
It's her real voice though.
I know. It's like, but when she goes like batshit, I'm like, okay, this is better. This works. So when she's teasing him a bit more and going, "Oh, Jamesy, come out," when he's in the bus, I'm like, okay, this is where the voice works.
I loved her in that scene, riding on the car with her wine bottle.
Yeah. I was ready to stab my eardrums. I was like, get away from me in a good way.
That was but it worked there, and not like when she's at the very beginning, like, oh, your book and all this kind of, oh, lovely. I was like, oh, okay. Oh, shut up. I also wrote down in big capital letters, penis. Yes. I was like, what are we watching? Oh, we're doing this. Okay.
We really did it.
We did it. Freaking disturbing killing by kids. Like,
oh yeah.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
like the first clone. Is it the clone? Is it not the clone? I did actually ask myself that, and then of course they discuss it themselves.
So did we. We verbally said it. The three of us, because we watched it with Matt's mom. All three of us said it out loud, and then they verbally discussed
it's like in
it
the Prestige,
themselves.
isn't it? You don't know which is the one that dies and which one that doesn't.
I appreciated them bringing that up.
It doesn't really matter, ultimately.
Especially because it doesn't actually matter. I like the way that they just
doesn't matter.
Get that out. of the
Well,
way.
it doesn't matter. The point is they can just keep killing and keep cloning and keep going and all this kind of thing. But that kid was going for it. Jesus Christ. Wow. And I'm like, okay, he's dead. But no, we're going to keep stabbing. We're going to keep stabbing. I'm like, Jesus.
Cronenberg is Baby Cronenberg is violent. Having watched two
But
of his
he's got
films
like
in the
a
last
12-year-old
24
doing
hours,
it. Like, wow. Okay.
It's bananas.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, I was actually really bought into this film though. Like, I mean, it's not overly deep. Like the rich get away with everything and they just buy their way out. You know, we see it all the time on a daily basis. You know, coming from your country, we've had it in many other countries. You know, just they can do what they want. Nobody is punishing them.
Don't leave the resort. That's what I learned from this movie.
So I made that note, actually. I was like, if he just listened to M, just listened to his wife, and she didn't want to go. And you know what? I would have been like, you know what? You've made new friends. Great. You want to go? Go. I'm staying here at the pool. Like, I don't want to spend time with extra people that we've just met. Like, you need to get to that stage in life that you just say, you know what? You go. I'm going to stay here. So she didn't want to go.
Well, pretty good at that.
We are good at that, but this just shows why it's important to be a wife guy. Listen to your wife.
Yeah, she had bad vibes with these people, you know?
She was right the whole time.
She was right. One thing though as well that was really annoying me, she kept going on about we have to leave in 15 minutes. And I'm like, you're still here, dear, and you're now suddenly in bed asleep. What? I thought you needed to leave. What are we doing? I was really confused with that. She was like really insistent they needed to go right now, and then suddenly she's in bed sleeping. Well, okay, maybe not. Maybe she was waiting for him to find his passport. I don't know.
Yeah,
whatever. She should just have gone. Leave him. You know?
The passport that he hid.
Yeah. So there's lots of flaws to this, but I was very entertained. Ultimately.
Yes, it's definitely entertaining.
I agree.
I think it fits what I said earlier. It's a little entertainment over actual substance that it seems to want to have.
Because the message is nothing new.
And like the whole part of him like breastfeeding off of
that was weird. Okay, that was
like,
weird. That end, I didn't like that.
Yeah. I was just like, I don't think you've done the groundwork, unfortunately, for that.
Where's this coming from?
It felt very guy with ears sewn all over his body. Is what I'll say. Yeah. I'm going to start using that as an insult.
The weird things that he did add in there was like, well, we're just doing it just to try and be weird because I didn't feel earned. So. Yes. And especially I meant to mention that the breastfeeding thing at the end was the blood. Like, why? Like,
I don't. I'm like, did I miss
where's
something?
This? Yeah, where am I missing some quirk or some kink that he's got? Like,
if this were a normal Horror Hour with Hannah's episode, I would go through and try to figure it out, but it is not.
We don't have time for that. So, let's move on to The Monkey. 77% on Rotten Tomatoes. Matt's favorite director, Oz Perkins.
I realized that
again.
Do you want me to go and just say, I don't like this movie. I didn't like it when we saw it. I complained about it on our whole episode. You can go listen to me be pedantic about it there. Wasn't fun for me. I found it pretentious and maybe pretentious isn't the right word, but I found it annoying. I do like one Oz Perkins movie. I remember. What was that one called? I really liked Keeper, which is I'm being the contrarian as Brian tells me. Everyone hated Keeper. I loved it, and I don't like Oz Perkins' others movies. So maybe I am a contrarian.
You've only seen 3 of his movies, to be fair.
But I like the one everyone hated. 7. So it just makes me enlightened, as I say. Or maybe I'm the pretentious one. Mm-hmm. But anyway, I don't like The Monkey. I found it annoying, to be honest. So that's all I'll say.
Yep.
Heather?
Yeah. I don't really want to spend too much time on this. It is basically a scary movie. It is a spoof. I'm sorry, this is not a serious film. Like, the tone is so off here, and it just doesn't work. It's slapstick, pretends horror, like scary movie. They don't work for me either. There's better parody films out there. This felt like a parody, a cheap parody. No, I'm not buying what's his face in the lead role. Theo, is it Theo James? I think
Theo
it is.
James.
Yeah, not buying it.
I also wrote that down. I want to love Theo James because he's hot. Yeah, but he's not really doing anything special.
He's not doing it for me. Yeah, and some of the scenes were just. I was like, okay, if you're going full out parody. Do a better job, and some of it just looks so cheap as well, like really cheap. Where I'm like, okay, this is the parody kind of because it's not supposed to look realistic. Like none of the kills, I'm like sat there going, this could be gruesome, but it's not because the tone is so off. And this didn't work.
Yeah, I feel like when I saw it, I had fun with enough of it, but I don't think it's a very great movie. I just don't think it hits for me in the way that I want it to. Some of the deaths are funny. I like the scene where they talk about whether or not to test the monkey, and then it all of a sudden smash cuts to the uncle's funeral. I thought that was so
You know what?
funny.
That was funny.
There's like a few moments like that that are like very actively laugh out loud funny, and then a lot of them are just straight up stupid, like the bees. The bee's death was the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. The pool death, kind of
the pool death, yeah, that was the one dumb. I was going to say.
Yeah. And I don't connect to it. No. I wanted to love Theo James, didn't. I don't think anyone's doing anything particularly interesting here. What I will say is that conceptually, I like what the film is trying to say. I just don't love the actual final product of what I'm watching. So
this feels like a common thread for a lot of these films. Love the idea, didn't work.
Yes. Yeah. And so I think it's really cool to this thinking about like, how does one cope with death when you're surrounded by almost comedically traumatic deaths like Oz Perkins, right? So one of his parents dies in 9/11. The other parent, who was married to a person of the opposite sex, dies of AIDS because they were actually gay. He is like surrounded by, crazy trauma. And so I like that he is kind of making this movie about, coping with that. I just don't think the actual final product is very good.
Humor. I mean, I love dark humor more than anybody else. But this
it just doesn't work.
But if it helps him process his trauma, then great.
Yeah, like good for you, King. It's also just like so tonally different than the rest of his work.
Completely.
And so I appreciate him trying something else, but it wasn't the move. So go back to your other shit, bro. So I think this feels like an obvious one. Heather, your winner.
Yeah, Infinity Pool.
Versus the monkey. Infinity Pool, Matt. Yeah.
I'm also giving it to Infinity Pool.
A very obvious 3 votes for Infinity
and
Pool.
People love the monkey. I don't
get it.
I was thinking about
I thought it just got shat on by everybody.
No, a lot of people in horror space like it.
It has a 77%. We did an episode on it, and our guests liked it a lot more than we did.
I'm going to quickly say, I feel like we're like past the need for parody movies unless they're like Malignant, which is like Secret or Scream. It's like a meta commentary parody movie where
that's the thing. So that's what I'm saying. Like there's films that do it well, but it is a really fine line. So.
Also, cross out on bingo card Matt comments about liking Malignant because we all know Malignant is more. It relates to a lot of things in this genre, surprisingly.
Yeah. Okay. Let's move on to round 2.
So we have a couple movies that had first round buys now, so they'll be up against whatever was in our play-in bracket.
Yep. So now we have Longlegs, which we've already talked about, versus Possessor.
Another Baby Cronenberg movie.
At a 94% on Rotten Tomatoes. I'm going to get started here. I rewatched this movie this morning while I was making my grocery list and doing some other chores. And I didn't expect to finish it, and then I did because I just think this movie rocks. I think it is so visually interesting the way the visuals are showing us the themes and purpose of the film. It's very much about this. It's about an assassin who inhabits other people's bodies to kill people. And I love this idea of her dissociating and not knowing who she is or what her own identity is anymore. She's having to literally practice reciting lines to be herself, to go home to her husband and her child. And then when she's in other people's bodies, she's dissociating and she's like, who am I? Where am I? I think there are also these really cool visuals when her and then the person she's in are kind of fighting for control. I love the colors that are used here in those scenes that are more supposed to be like her psyche. I think Christopher Abbott is typically a hit or miss performer for me, but I think he is killing it here. He's really great. And I think by the end, this movie wraps up in such an interesting way, where she's finally able to disconnect from real life because of what happens. And evidenced by her like no longer having guilt over the butterfly she killed when she was a child, which she says earlier in the movie she felt guilty about. I feel like this movie just ties together really well, and it's thematically really interesting.
I think all my complaints about Infinity Pool are not happening in this movie. There's much more substance with its style and what it's trying to do. Conceptually, another really great sci-fi. One of the probably best sci-fis on this list in terms of concept. And I remember watching it for the first time and being like, this movie's incredible. I made Hannah watch it, and we had the USA version instead of Canadian, and some of the surrealist moments were more lame. And then Hannah got to see the Canadian version today, and you got to see Penis again in its full glory. And it's way better.
Brandon Cronenberg loves a penis.
It's just cool because it's on her body. It's this really interesting dissociation and like body dysmorphia, basically imagery. And I think it's really cool. So overall, I think this is again, great sci-fi that's executed pretty much perfectly. So, and it's a true sci-fi in that it is a warning to us, right? It is an idea about us losing who we are and losing our empathy and our guilt and our connections to reality, which I think great sci-fi needs to have a message or a warning against technology. So that's all I got. Heather.
Yeah. Again, this is kind of something where I'm saying this is more veering towards the sci-fi than the horror. Quite frankly, yes, it's got some horrific parts to it and some gruesome kills, but this is, as you said, it's more in the sci-fi realm here. Again, super interesting premise. I took a little bit longer to get into this. So I don't know. I just wasn't quite getting there. But then when we finally get into the Christopher Abbott stuff, not Christopher Guest, as I called him the other day, Christopher Abbott, very different. Christopher Abbott, when that then starts happening and then we get Sean Bean joining, and love Sean Bean. Great to see he's still out there, like working. And that the main task, if you like, of the film, that's when it really starts working. I think Christopher Abbott is great in this because he's always a little bit not, how do I say? He's always not unhinged. That's not the word I'm looking for, but he's got this, I think what we were saying about like a little bit of the disconnect, right? I think we're saying about Leo Seydoux, right? Whereas with her, for me, it's kind of the accenty thing, or it's not her actual mother tongue. With Christopher Abbott, I don't know. There just seems something. That's why he worked for me in Poor Things as well, because it was just this little disconnect, not quite right, kind of putting on an act, which of course is perfect for this because it's not him, but it is kind of. So there's just I think also in the scene when he's approaching like Sean Bean in this very, what is it, like not hallway or a dinner or whatever it is, and you kind of see flashes of it's really must be really hard to act, but you can see it in his eyes. I'm almost seeing the flashing of the possession. Like, and how do you act that? Like, that's really well done. So I think it's really hard to describe. In fact, I mean, how would you even direct it? But yeah,
this movie I find
it's
really
almost
hard
like it's her eyes, but I don't think it is. Like, I don't think they did anything weird where they put her CGI'd her eyes into his face, but that's almost like it seemed for me. It was like really weird. I was like, whoa, okay. So yes, this, as I say, I took a while to kind of connect with it and get into what the mind it was going with. I don't normally really enjoy Andrea Riseborough. She's not my favorite, but she is good in this. But yes, I think you two feel a little bit higher on it than me. But again, this is something where the premise possibly, I wouldn't necessarily rewatch this, look at it this way, but it's very, very interesting. And it's definitely saying a lot more than Infinity Pool, to your point, Matt. Yeah.
Okay. So let's vote.
What's it up against?
We have Longlegs versus Possessor. Matt.
I'm giving it to Possessor on this one. But you know I don't, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Heather?
Yeah, no, I've got to go with Longlegs. But I think I'm losing.
Coming down to Hannah. I don't know. Hannah could go either way.
So I do really like both of these movies, but I think Possessor as an overall film is more cohesive and more unique. And yeah, I really love Possessor. I'm sorry, Heather. I have to go Possessor.
Brandon Cronenberg moves on.
Yeah, no, I saw that coming.
Yeah. My apologies.
I just really like Longlegs.
And
See,
I think that's
I wanted
valid.
Crimes of the Future versus
Yeah, you were
Possessor,
already
'cause that would have
like, get
been-
Longlegs out of here.
I think that a matchup between Daddy and Baby would have been funny.
I know,
as I refer to that,
alas,
or Papa and Baby.
That's not what we got. One Osgood Perkins movie needed to move on.
Sure,
I mean, that would have been so rude.
All right, so who's our next? Movies. Who was our next first round bye?
Okay, so our next matchup is Hokum versus Titane.
Oh my!
Oh wow! Mm-hmm.
All right, well, crazy.
We've talked about Titane a lot. I'll be quick, so I'll go. I love Raw, the first one. I think Titane is really good. I don't think it's as good as Raw, and it's hard for me to like love it as much because I always go back to the director's first movie in Raw. But I think what this movie is doing is really interesting, very unique. I like the gender identity part of this story. I like the family narrative and the grieving father narrative, and it's just freaky and scary and weird and kind of hits all those notes. So it's a cool movie.
We have a full episode on it. Yeah. So yeah. Heather?
Yes. Titane, a film I had been putting off forever.
I'm glad we got you to watch it then.
Are you glad that you watched it?
This was not what I was expecting. Okay.
Well, you didn't think a woman getting impregnated by a car was what you were expecting? What?
I expected her to actually have. I mean, look, people tell me this is the woman having sex with a car. Where, and of course, I'm thinking, well, there's the gear stick. There's the exhaust pipe. What's she doing? No, she's not. She's just bound in the back seat, having fun. You know, whatever. This is what. I mean, I really, really thought this was going to be exhaust pipe action here, right? Did it, like, or gear stick, whatever she wants to use, you know, your preference. Like, so I'm like, oh, okay, all right. This is tamer than I was expecting, and it is, as people said, this one scene. Although she does go and try and have a little bit of fun with a fire truck later on, but, yeah, I really enjoyed this a lot more than I thought I was going to. So I think the themes that you covered as well. I also listened to your podcast yesterday.
Oh, thank you again.
I always wait until I've seen the films and then I'll go on. But it's not. Yeah, it's about her identity, as you said. I think also the father figure, if you like, or the father of Adrian. Yeah, he's incredible. Him also kind of, it's also kind of for him like an identity because he sees himself as a dad, and this gives him that identity back again. It gives him that closure, which I think even when they discover that she is who she is and not who they were expecting, which I think he always knows, obviously, that ultimately he doesn't care because he wants to have that feeling of being a dad again. And I think gives him then that closure. And then when we're just going spoilers, right? So when the baby is born and he puts it against his chest and he's again, there we are. He now continues that with the child. Now we don't know what's going to happen to the child with its spine, but and I thought that was much more than all the horror elements, although we have some great kills. Although, as I said to you the other day, Hannah, for me, it was almost worse. Like the worst bit was the finding the vomit in her hair, because I think we've possibly all been there, that you just found something somewhere and you're like, what is it? Whether it's like bird shit or I don't know, whatever. And you're like, what is that? And so I really felt, I was like, yes, I also felt really dirty. I was like, I want to have a shower, like after seeing that scene. And like the hairpin, completely underrated weapon. Like
it's so good.
So good. So yeah, this was fun. I think there's a little bit in the middle where it drags a bit, but then obviously it pulls out at the end with the birth and then ultimately what you're left with, the feeling that you have at the end. So, yep.
Okay, so I think this film is stunning looking, especially the colors. Julia Ducournau really loves to play with color, and I think the way it's done here is great. I think it's really well acted, obviously, and you guys have already touched on the themes of queer identity, but also the themes of like parenthood and what that means for identity. I just think this movie is doing a lot. And we say that on our episode, right? Between the serial killer arc, the car pregnancy, the dad with the steroids, this like found family thing. Honestly, what's the point of the car pregnancy when we could have had a full story with just the serial killer arc and the father arc?
Yeah,
I don't know if the car part needs to be there, but the car part is the hook and the interesting part. So it's kind of tough for me. I like this movie a lot, but I do just feel that it's cluttered. And I just wonder how it would work if you took one arc out. But like,
don't take the car out.
But I also understand why this is like a Palme d'Or winner. It's fucking weird as shit. It's taking risks and taking chances, and I like what it's saying.
And kind of like Presence, it's like a weirdly pleasant movie. Like, it's very out there, but in its ending, obviously she dies. There is this like sweet found family message that's happening, and I love the father and the fact that he just is like, through his grief, he's like, I'm accepting you as my child, even though you're not.
I don't care who you are, you're my son.
Yeah. Oh,
and there's that scene at the party where they like dance together, and it feels like this nonverbal expression of that idea of him accepting this person fully as his child, no matter who they are. And then through her dancing, kind of accepting their identity as maybe a trans or queer person. Yeah, I just think all of that is so interesting. This is a really tough matchup for me because I think Titane is a really, really cool movie.
Well, you have one pithy movie and one cluttered, is what you're saying. So
yeah,
it's a lot. But I think it does all come together and is connected. But I see what you mean. That didn't bother me so much. By the way, the dance scenes, like at the very beginning, near the beginning of the cars, love.
Yeah,
me too.
They're really good.
All right, you want to vote on these ones?
Yeah. So obviously Heather has not seen Hokum, so
I enjoy Titane, so I will say Titane.
Okay.
Yeah, because I think that's only fair. I think I might, if I actually then saw it, might prefer Hokum, but due to the fact that I actually enjoyed Titane and didn't enjoy Immaculate, I think it's only fair to give it
seems reasonable to me. If you're coming to me, I think I'm having recency bias. I have to give this to Hokum. I was pretty blown away by Hokum. I do love Titane. Hokum is definitely much more straightforward, but sometimes it's kind of what you need. And then this is a horror movie bracket, so I'm going to Hokum. Oh, Hannah is pressed now.
Oh.
I will not be unhappy if Titane goes forward.
I feel like I'm going to have a panic attack because this is like the one I was texting Britt of 1001 by 1 before this. And I was like, Britt, I don't know what to do because I think if you're asking me which one I have a more fun watching, it's Hokum.
Yeah.
I had a blast watching Hokum, and I think it's a really great film from A to Z, and it comes together really well, like we said. And I don't think Titane comes together as well for me, but I love how bold and fucking weird it is. But it's not quite as weird as you think it is based off what it is conceptually. I love that it's a female filmmaker doing this weird, crazy shit. I just feel... I don't know.
All right, make a decision.
Hold on.
Ultimately, it's like, well, what's more rewatchable? Because that was, possibly the decision.
Seen them both the same amount of times, and I will watch both of them. I'm going to give it to Titane.
Whoa,
and the reason, I'm going to be honest, because I really don't have like a good reason why I want to pick one over the other. So my two reasons why going for Titane that are stupid reasons is one, I need a female filmmaker to make it to the next round. And also because Heather hasn't seen Hokum, and it'll make the following brackets a little more difficult.
Fine.
So that's why, but like truly
reasonable.
everyone at home know that like I do love both of those movies.
Yeah, and I'll probably watch Hokum and I'll be like, what the hell? Like
It's
it
very
needed to
different.
win. Because I think, and I said this, I think it is probably something I will enjoy more than Titane, but I can't do a sight unseen this time.
Yeah, you can't.
Yeah.
You can't.
Okay. Well, so what do we got next then?
Next
we got two more to really talk about.
Presents versus Exit 8. Exit 8 came out this year, has a 93%.
Really?
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So we saw Exit 8 early at the Overlook Film Festival. I think it's fine. 93. I don't know about that.
That is kind of insanely high.
It's kind of bland.
It has the second highest Rotten Tomatoes score of the entire group.
Weird. Well, I think it's kind of bland. It's fine. It does some fun stuff. It's based on a video game that does the same stuff. I mean, like, what is there to say? I found it very, like, middle of the road.
It's very repetitive.
Yeah.
After a while. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even have that much to say other than it's middle of the road. It's good. Like, it achieves what it sets out to achieve, and that's about it.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think, Hannah?
Let's let Heather talk.
Okay, sorry.
Okay. So this film got bonus points at the very beginning because it starts with Ravel's Bolero, which is like one of my favorite classical pieces of classical music of all time. Absolutely love it. Get goosebumps. So I'm like, okay, we're giving it a bonus point for that. I'm in. And it brings it back at the end. Love it. I loved this for the first half, and then it started really getting a bit repetitive, and I'm like, yeah, we know what we're doing. This man's going round again. We're going to see him again. We're maybe going to get out, we're maybe not. It's another allegory for fatherhood and responsibility of parenting, and are we ready to be a parent and all this kind of stuff. I feel I haven't seen Backrooms yet because it's literally just come out here, but it has come out here. This is how I imagine Backrooms to kind of be, like trying to get out of somewhere. It's just a permanent sort of loop and just leads off into various corridors.
I would say if you
which makes sense because Backrooms isn't a video game, is it? It's like
it did become one, but it's not what it's based off of originally. Now.
Okay. This is a video game. I didn't know this going in, but then I read that it makes total sense. I think you are kind of invested because you are sort of looking for the signs yourself in a way, which keeps you invested. But after a while there, it's kind of like a bit obvious, I feel, and you're like, come on, dude, like it's obvious, stop it, don't fall for this all the time. Screaming baby in the locker or whatever. And yeah, as I say, the story and behind it of are you ready for fatherhood, is he or not? It's kind of, we've seen it all before, but I thought the production design incredible, great, which it has to kind of be for these for this to work. I love that. I know that's something that's being praised in Backrooms as well, which makes sense. I thought, oh god, his coughing was driving me mad. Again, I've already mentioned my misophonia. I was just like, oh my god, stop coughing. But it was good. The sound, I thought, what have I made a note of? The sound and the score, I thought was good. That was very effective. How that was keeping just that creepy kind of squeaky sound. That did work for me. There were a few sound triggers for me. His coughing, babies crying triggers, and is a bit repetitive. And but I mean, it was fine. It was short. It was probably quite cheaply made, I would imagine, but because they're just in a corridor the whole time, pretty much, apart from we have some fire going on. It was fine. Yeah.
That's how I feel. It's very fine. All right.
So me. So I think that, like Heather was mentioning, I think this has a really cool premise of like making you play the game along with the movie of finding the anomalies yourself, and then when you find it and they don't, it makes you feel tense and nervous because you're like, dude, you're about to fuck up and like what's gonna happen. So I think that's cool, but it does become redundant feeling, like you both said. It gets repetitive, although like I think we should probably expect that given the concept of the game.
I think it sometimes goes into frustrating because you're not in control.
Yes. But I do
you're like I would do this completely differently.
Yeah. What I do like is then they kind of try and switch the character POV you're following. Like it switches to the businessman.
Yeah.
And so I think that does help a lot when you're really like, okay, I have had enough with this man. It switches to the next guy. And I was like, oh, thank you for understanding where I was getting pissed off. I think it does a great job setting up the space, getting us used to the space so we can play along. And I think I love things about the fear of parenthood because I resonate with that. So I also didn't know what this was going to do thematically. So I was excited that it did something thematically, and I liked how that wrapped up. So I liked this movie, and I haven't seen very many video game to film adaptations, and the ones I have seen I didn't like. So I was pretty excited about this one, and I do think that's why it is getting a lot of praise, because I think it's achieved something that not many game to films achieve.
We'll see if Krager's Resident Evil movie can break the curse.
Yeah. But like I said, it is the second highest Rotten Tomato score of the whole bunch, with an 83, the highest being Possessor with an 93, Possessor's at a 94.
All right, let's vote on this thing.
Which I find odd.
Did just one thing though, I felt a bit stupid, but did you realize who the boy was?
No.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't. I thought it was his younger self, maybe. I thought there's something about the boy, but I didn't. I thought it was his younger self.
Oh, I figured it out. Yeah.
Okay. Well done.
I don't even remember now. What was it?
It's supposed to be
his kid.
Oh, I couldn't even. We saw 14 movies that weekend. This was also
Overlook, we saw it at Overlook, and this was our second of 14. It was
Yeah.
So it was our second film of the first night.
I saw it right after seeing
and we saw
Obsession.
Yeah. So we saw this at like 10:30 at night, and it was a lot.
I was sleepy.
And then we couldn't get seats next to each other, so I'm like housing these really wet nachos by myself, and Matt is like kind of far away from me. But also, I'm really scared of rodents, so there was a couple moments in Exit 8 where I was like, oh my god, the rats, I'm going to die by myself over here with my wet nachos.
They're going to spring out of the screen at me.
It's going to be a 4D movie, and I'm going to die.
All right, let's vote on this thing.
So Presence
we're getting near the end.
Versus Exit 8.
I'm giving it to Presence. Sorry, you came to me. Presence is a better movie.
Yeah, Presence.
I too was going to go Presence.
Sorry, Exit 8. That's an upset, though.
It is.
According to Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh, yeah, with the Rotten Tomatoes. Mm-hmm. Sorry, tomatoes.
Rotten Tomatoes. I like that. I'm gonna say.
We have an upset. Okay, and let's see if we'll have an upset here with our last late contender, Infinity Pool versus Together. Together with a 90% on Rotten Tomatoes. Heather seems excited to talk about
No,
Together.
I'd forgotten. I knew there was one more we had to discuss, and I'd forgotten what it was. Yes.
Why don't you go first?
Oh, this was fun. I like this. This was a long time ago I watched this. Right, where are my notes? This is the eye horror. Right. Okay.
Yes.
This one it was a long time ago I watched it for the prep is what I say. It was I think it was the first one of the not having watched that I watched. And I was really put off by the poster and eye horror. I can't cope with eye horror. I can't cope with actually anything, even if it's not horror, that has eyes or anything near eyes. Or please, I can't do it.
I think we have that poster laying around here somewhere.
That poster, get it ready. No, do not show it to me. I will. I can't do it. So I was really concerned about this film. And then people were saying, no, it's like just one moment. And I'm saying, okay, fine, whatever. So I watched this. This is what I read. Very cool concept. It's not as gruesome as I was expecting. It's actually quite cute and romantic in a kind of also kind of obsessive way a little bit as well. Like, I don't know if this is like a great relationship here. They're also both kind of annoying. The ending song, To Become One, I'm like, no, really, this is what we're doing. I did write that down as being very, very cheesy, but I was very invested in this film. I thought the leads really worked. Of course, they worked with their chemistry because they are married. So it would be sad if it didn't work. And yeah, I mean, and I that was kind of supposed to be like a weird sort of culty thing, but quite frankly, I thought it's like a happy ending in a way, right? No? I mean, like the guy that they meet, her colleague, who's two merged people, he seems really happy with life. Like I expected him to be some kind of, I mean, I know he's like a cult leader, but it's not like bad, really. I mean, there are the ones which have gone wrong, but that's like very wrong.
It turns out since they both did love each other, right? That's like why they ended up merging correctly.
Yeah. And it worked out because it was meant to be, which I think is the whole point. So ultimately, yes, there are, the two halves to one whole. Now, for you two and for me and my husband, we are still separate people. Great, hurrah! But in principle, I'd be interested to see what we look like.
We look buffed up.
Oh, that mix of them was so scary. It was. I'm like, wait a minute, you have very androgynous.
You have two hot people, and it ends up like this. But this can sometimes happen. You sometimes have celebrities who are both hot and their kids are ugly. It happens. I am thinking of one particular couple. I will not name names. No, I will. Bruce Willis and Demi Moore, both very attractive people. Their kids are not very.
Oh no! I have to look that up. Poor kids.
Yes, we had much potential. It didn't fully work out. They're also. Can we also just discuss like what the mother and father think when they come for tea? Like, what is going on? What are they going to think?
It is a very funny ending.
When merged person opens the door, like, what do they think? What's going to happen? Like, I want to know what continues. I want together too. No, this was really fun. I did look away in the eye scene, but I saw it coming. I'm like, okay, it's coming. Wait a minute, hang on, they're merging. The eyes are going to come. We haven't had the eyes yet. I'm like, oh, here we go. No. Okay. That's why I had to look away. This was actually probably the only scene of most of the films that we've watched for this that I actually had to look away at anything, and it was the eye scene, but that was kind of obvious. Yep, this was fun. I really enjoyed this.
I also liked this movie. It was one that I didn't love, but I enjoyed. There's some really fun scenes. Everything of them merging and being pulled towards each other's great. Yes. Him in the shower, just smashing his face on the rocks. It's such a good scene. They're really great.
And the toilet scene. Oh my goodness.
Mm-hmm. Yes. In the school. There are really great moments overall. I think this is a really hard concept to live up to, and I think they probably did the best they could. And so, again, I like it conceptually. I think this movie works. It's not one that completely stands out for me and that I'm like, oh, I love, you have to see. But it is a very fun movie that I'm glad was made. So I know Hannah likes it a little more than I do, so I'll let her talk.
Yeah, I think these two have such great natural chemistry. Obviously, they're married. We kind of knew they would, but it's incredible. Sometimes people who are married don't necessarily have the best chemistry together on screen, but these two, holy hell, I'm in. And they're also so funny. This movie, I feel like, is really funny in a way that doesn't feel like forced jokes written on a script.
Yes,
it does feel like two people
compared to The Monkey, for example, talking, which is guaranteed hard.
Yes, more shit talk on The Monkey. I like it
for sure, though. I like the visuals. I do think some of them are pretty grotesque. They make my tummy hurt, and the concept of them merging is also just causes me such physical discomfort. Them being stuck together, having sex. Oh my God, that scene killed me. I was trying not to shriek in the theater. It
went from a really hot scene to a very scary scene very quickly.
But the combo of sex and horror is always great. We've always said that. I think this film does have some tense and exciting scenes. If you're asking me, could it be scarier? Yeah, I'm sure it could, but I love what it's doing.
Could have shown them actually sawing the arms off.
Yeah, I was wondering, I asked that, I think, during our initial episode, do we wish that they did show it or not. But I also think it lends itself to a really comedic moment.
That's true. When they're just on other sides of the kitchen.
Yeah, other sides of the room eating. Yeah. So I also like conceptually, just the idea is awesome. And I think it's a really fun way to literalize codependency that we feel with our romantic partners. Like, and then it's
kind of toxic.
Yeah. And it asks you like how much of it is like, I love this person versus I'm just really dependent on this person because I've been with them for a while. And yeah, I just think all of that is really cool. I had a lot of fun with this in theaters. It was something I was really, really excited for last year. And then I liked it. And then when I watched it at home at the end of the year to kind of finalize my ranking, I think I was just having a day, and I did tear up a little bit. I was like, oh my God, look at them trying to sacrifice themselves for each other. And then just realizing that, you know, in all their codependency that they want to be together.
I mean, it is kind of toxic, but the fact that it worked out and they seem happy, I think means, okay, maybe they did like want this, or maybe it was just inevitable because they didn't like have a weird splice going on like other couples where it didn't work. Can I also just say that actually probably the most horrific film is not the part of this film is not the eye scene, it's the proposal.
That's what we said in the episode too. Oh my God. Yeah.
Oh my God. I'm sat here like, oh, there you go. I'll teach you the German word. It's called Fremdschämen. There you go.
Fremdschämen.
Yes, Fremdschämen. It literally translates as to shame, to have stranger shaming. So
secondhand embarrassment.
It is exactly secondhand embarrassment, but it's such a good word. Fremdschämen. There you go. That's your German word of the day.
God bless. Okay, so let's put these two up against each other. So we have Infinity Pool at 87 and Together at 90%. I'll go first, and I'll say I love Together. I think it's such a perfect blend of my sense of humor, but also like my interests and things I find scary. So yeah, I'm gonna go Together. Matt,
what was this up against again?
Infinity Pool. I just said.
Oh, I'm gonna give it to Together. You guys convinced me. Ooh. I was kind of surprising. Based on the discussion, I think Together. I find these very similar in my feeling on them. So Together, why not?
And Heather, what would you have gone with?
I like them both, but it's Together, clearly. Like, it's not hard.
Okay. Perfect. Okay, so that leaves us in second to final round with Possessor versus Titane, and then Presence versus Together. So
now we don't have to talk about them anymore.
Yes, you just say.
So Heather, Possessor versus Titane. Do you have which your preference? And give us just like a very quick why.
I have no particular reason why. I'm just going to go vibes based on today. And today I'm going to say Titane, but it's very close.
I agree that it's very, very close for me. Matt?
I'm going to go with Possessor here. I really love the sci-fi horror elements of this. I think they're both unique movies. I think this is just executed so perfectly. So I'm going with Possessor.
I am going to go with the one that I think executes what it's doing a little bit better, even though I do really like both of them. So I fear I'm knocking out the woman, and because I'm taking Possessor as well.
Possessor's going all the way.
I had a feeling it might when I was looking at this bracket.
I just think it executes what it's doing so perfectly, and I don't really think anything in here is superfluous or doesn't fit. And I think it looks great.
Hannah watched it this morning, and I was sleeping a little longer and then walking our dog. And I sat down for like a second and I was glued to the screen. Yeah. I was like, I don't think I can leave.
I did go back and watch a couple of things like in the middle, and I was like, I really maybe should have watched this again the whole way through. I think there's a lot going on that I certainly missed the first watch as well.
So Possessor is going
to the finals. Possessor might go all the way.
Knocking out the Pandora winner. Good God. Wow.
Yeah, I feel kind of shit about that, but
Hey, not my fault.
That's how it goes. Yeah. You can. Your hands are clean.
I am on the right side of history here.
No death threats
women
for
directors,
you.
Please.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Charity. You fucking hate women.
Yeah. We just hate women. There we go.
Okay, so now this one's maybe tougher in a lot of ways. Presents versus together.
Oh my God. Wow. These two halves of the bracket are very different.
Very different.
Wild.
You had like sci-fi body horror, and now
then we have little fun romantic shit.
Yeah.
You coming to me?
Yeah.
I'm giving this to Presents. Presents was just very magical to me. Again, I've only seen it once, and it just really stuck with me, and I'm giving it to Soderbergh. So.
Shit.
Did I say Soderbergh? I meant, wait, who directed this?
Soderbergh. Yeah.
Soderbergh. Yeah.
Heather?
Here. Oh. What? Oh no, do I have to go? Oh no, I was going to be the tiebreaker. I wanted to see if I needed to be a tiebreaker or not. Oh. You went with Presents? Oh my God, guys. This is... I don't know. Recency bias, I'll go with Presents.
Whoa.
Okay.
So Presents moving forward.
Damn.
Let's go.
Damn. Okay. I'm out of curiosity pulling up my ranked of last year because I want to see which one I put higher. Yeah, it's where I thought it was. Yeah, I was going to pick Together, and I did put Together 2 spots above Presents last year, but I do really like both of these movies, so I'm not mad about it. I just I love a little rom-com, and I liked a little fucked up couple, so it felt it was my thing. Yeah. But
I would rewatch both of them now.
Mm-hmm.
So
I love the experimental nature of Presents. So we have 2 Ps against
each other. 2 Ps, Presents versus Possessor.
Yeah, so just a quick review. Possessor with a 94% on Rotten Tomatoes, and Presents with an 87%. So pretty close.
Yep. All right, who's going first? You want to send it to Heather first as the guest?
Yeah, go ahead.
Then you and I can fight. Where's it going, Heather?
Yeah, no, I'm losing this. I'm saying Presents for the win.
Whoa.
No, sorry. It just, that side of the bracket, I think, was just there's a lot of things. Those two, I know which one I'm voting for in the final either way. Presents or Together. Because, yeah. I mean, I say Possessor, I love the concept. I'm just thinking rewatchability here. And again, I just like to say Presents is the one I watched and finished deliberately for just to finish it off.
Take it through.
Yeah.
You want me to go?
Mm-hmm.
I think I have to give it to Possessor, and I love Presents. I have been fighting for Presents this whole way through this bracket, I'll say. But when it comes to this one,
but same.
I know. Fine. I was trying to take Stolen Valor.
You wanted Possessor at the very beginning against Longlegs, so.
I did. Sorry. Well, no, I wanted Crimes of the Future against Longlegs.
Oh yeah, that's right. Just not
I think I have to go with Possessor, and I think it was just that 15 minutes I watched today where I was hooked. I was like, this is so smart and interesting. The way that he visually shows the internal fight between the two. And it was specifically the scene where you figure out that Christopher Abbott's character has now gotten into her head. He's wearing the fucked up mask of her and walking into her home and having sex with her husband with the mask on. And he's now in
that was
there.
Freaky.
I was like, this is so freaky. This is so interesting. I love the way that you can visually display this feeling, and I love it for that. So I'm sorry, it's going to Possessor. And now we leave it on Hannah to decide, and then we decide if the Hannahs have controlled the bracket and controlled the narrative here.
Hey, I'm not trying to control any narrative.
Stop the count.
I'm just trying to pick movies that I like.
Does that joke mean anything to you, Heather, when I say stop the count?
Of course.
Okay, good. I just want to make sure. Not being in the U.S. for all of that.
We followed all of that. Yeah.
Oh, good.
We are aware.
We're like reality TV to you guys.
Sadly.
Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah, sadly.
I would love a day when we didn't know what was happening in politics, I long for the days when politics was boring. Yeah.
Me too. I don't know
They've
if that's
never been
happened
boring
in
for
our
entire
life. No, but... you didn't hear.
9/11 happened when we were 5.
In 96. We invaded Iraq in 2003.
It's been fucked since we were sentient.
And before we were sentient.
Yeah. So I am gonna have to pick Possessor.
I knew that.
Yeah, I knew Heather
Sorry,
knew
Heather.
it. Yeah, I'm sorry. To be fair, I lost the last time. I was
That's
the
true.
lone person
Sarah and I went
picked
for
Get
Us,
Out,
and you went for
they
Get
both
Out.
picked Us.
Which is also insane that we got away with that. But
yeah, that was insane. That
I
was
can't believe we didn't get death
upset.
threats for that one.
Not enough people listened to the episode.
I mean, Possesor, great movie poster. So it has that.
Very scary movie poster.
I sound like a hater. I mean, this is great. I put it forward. I moved it forward. I think I haven't voted. Did I vote against it every time? No. I don't think so. Did I? Oh, I did.
You did. You voted against it every time, and we somehow pushed it through.
I am a hater. Okay. I did vote against it every time.
How did we manage
that's because
that again?
of what it was up against.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's actually so funny. Yeah, you voted Longlegs over Possessor, Titane over Possessor, and then Presence over Possessor, and Hannah and I just pushed it through.
I thought, like, going into this, I looked at the list of films, and I was like, oh, Possessor is my favorite of the list. So I do I thought for me that it would end up kind of getting pushed.
I would have put Hokum over Possessor possibly, but you guys put Titane over it. So I don't know.
Yeah, but that is the disclaimer.
Yep.
You know?
Disclaimer. Yeah.
So if I go and watch Hokum and come back and say, actually, guys, we need to redo this because.
Yeah, we'll do a follow-up episode, like a mini episode.
It'd be like, we're changing the whole bracket.
We're clarifying this real quick.
Yep.
We're changing this portion of the bracket, and we'll see how it goes.
All right.
Well,
we've been talking
here.
for almost.
My
we've been
pizza
talking for
is
almost
waiting,
2
everyone.
hours. Yep. All right. Well, Heather, then I'll give you the floor. Tell everyone where to find you again.
Oh, I mean, just in case. I know there was a closing section about surprises. I actually thought Titane might win this because I know you were quite high on it, and it is, very well regarded. So I'm pleased for a surprise and an upset, in my opinion. So,
just real quick, what are your favorites of the entire bracket, regardless of where they're located?
Okay, now I've seen everything, so I'd say Longlegs. I just 14th represent, and I think the only one I saw in theaters, so that probably also helps. Makes a difference, as I said earlier. And I think of all the ones that I've watched, I mean, Cuckoo going out early just hurts. But yeah, I'd say Presence was probably second. Nice. Look at the rest of them.
Hell yeah.
Together I did love, but I had to go with Presence. It's just, I think this has been great to discover new films. So, this was
I'm glad we could do
a lot
that
of new
for
stuff, and everything was. I think there was only 2 that I actively disliked. So.
Immaculate and the Monkey.
Correct.
Yes, that's valid. That's that's how I feel too.
Yeah, exactly. And then as I said earlier, Heather J. Stewart everywhere. Bunch of guest appearances coming out. Just Spotify, search my name.
What's your letterboxed?
Heather J. Stewart as well.
There
everywhere.
You go.
I am so consistent. Yeah.
It's perfect.
And
it's very easy.
Reminder for the folks at home, we have full episodes on Longlegs, Together, The Monkey, Immaculate, Titane, Cuckoo, Hokum, Presence, and that's it.
That's it. Yep.
So if you want a full episode on the ones we don't have a full episode on, hit us up. But
tell us.
Yeah.
We'll cover them.
But anyway, right. I'm Hannah.
I've been Matt. Hannah. This has been a long one, and congratulations to Possessor for winning this whole thing, the Neon bracket. And Heather, thank you again very much for joining us.
Me.
And
always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure to have you. Go listen to our Suspiria versus Suspiria episode with Heather.
Practice your German words.
Yep. And this has been Horror Hour with the Hannahs. Stay tuned and stay scared.
Thank you for listening to Horror Hour with the Hannahs. Make sure to listen to future episodes on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, or wherever else you can find podcasts. You can also find us on YouTube, where we post episodes and shorts. You can follow us at Horror Hour with the Hannahs on TikTok and Instagram, as well as at Horror Hour on Blue Sky for more content. If you like the podcast, please follow and leave a review on your favorite podcasting app. Happy hauntings!